All right, ladies and gentlemen, here we go with game number 1. This is the finals in this playoff bracket. We have Liquid Sheth against Fnatic MSI Nightend, and we are heading over to Dual Site for this first ZVP.
I love this map, man. It is so beautiful and makes some awesome games. A lot of players say Zerg is kind of sort of favored, and I might agree with that because Zergs, of course, can abuse that third, try to delay that from going up as long as possible. But what a matchup do we have here? We have Liquid Sheth and Fnatic Nightend, both of them coming off pretty impressive wins over pretty impressive opponents. Of course, Sheth 2-1ing Show, and then on the other side of things, Nightend 2-0ing QXC. So Gretorp, to say I'm excited is a ridiculous understatement.
Yeah, you're super excited.
I am. That's so it's closer. It's closer. You're not quite there yet, though.
I gotcha, bruh. I gotcha.
Right.
You know what? On paper, Dual Site, I always felt in the beginning when it first came out, the inception of it, I thought it was bad for Zerg. Boy, was I wrong. Okay. Well, anecdotally, we've had a lot of Zerg wins on this, and it's because of the attacking options that exist. Once you get the mutas out, the Zerglings, the Banelings, stuff like that. I'm thinking Terran for Zerg, of course. But once you get that stuff out, it can be very hard. Mutas are still good ZVP on this map as well, but it's hard to get to mutas. That's the big thing. The other thing in ZVP, still counterattacking is very, very strong. Okay, let's go ahead and go to the natural. We have an opening here, an opening over here. So there's two different positions where the natural can be attacked. You also have this open middle where it can be very hard to actually just clamp down on that center control. You know, units can just dodge around. There's dropping options for Zerg as well. So Protoss kind of gets split all over the place. They can't really get a third base. Okay, that being said, what can Protoss do? They can play defensive to 200-200, stay on 2 base, go to third base at around 140 to 150 supply, and then just wait until 200-200. And I feel like that is the best option for Protoss, because once you have 3 base, right, your push distances are really close. Think if Nightend takes his bottom middle position, going to the bottom right hand 2 expansions is really easy. So all he has to do is worry about attacking straight up. And if he goes straight up, he cuts and segments the left-hand side. He's taken off any potential for his opponent, Sheth, to get a third base.
Yeah, and force field is incredibly important on this map. So many little corridors you can take advantage of as a Protoss player. You do not want to be caught off in the middle of the map or anywhere where the Zerg can get a super scary surround on you and just demolish your army. So look out for Nightend to be to be careful about that. And let's talk about this current concurrent game right now. It looks like Sheth going for can't really go for an expansion. There is a pylon there put down by Nightend. Meanwhile, Nightend, a little bit unusual in my opinion, going to be walling up on the high ground. A lot of Protoss players have been dabbling with a faster expansion, either a Forge or a Nexus Expand on this map, even though it seems scary, it's doable.
Well, yeah, I think the problem with Forge Expand is just because the pylons are always out in the open, and it can leave a lot of theoretical losses. You know, there's a lot of Baneling, Zergling pressures that you have to be careful. You actually have to over-defend, so you can do one of two things. Over-defend or assume not over-defend. Assume they're not going to go Zergling, Baneling, but that's kind of coin-flippy. I don't like that style. And Nightend is more so of the passive, just the macro player. Especially he was talking about in his interview earlier, he is going to be playing a macro style because he doesn't feel confident with the latency that he has.
Okay, well, that makes sense. That's a very logical statement to make. I like it. I kind of like it. Sheth, looking around with these Zerglings for, I guess, any stray probes or pylons. Doesn't want any, forward reinforcement potential for his opponent. So going to be going over the gold, checking out for that, spreading his links around. Such a cool thing that you can do with your Zerglings early on in this game. I mean, why not? You have 2 at the watchtower. Why not use the other 2 just to scout around, make sure no shenanigans are going on. That being said, Nightend getting some sentries out of this lone gateway and putting down a Twilight Council Gretorp.
Whoa, was not expecting that. We're going to see a Dark Templar expand. I was expecting just a regular 1-gate expand, but no, he's switching it up. This is something we definitely don't see. Now, it has the potential to be something like Blinkstalkers as well, but I highly doubt it at this point, just because I think Blinkstalker is not as effective as Dark Templars. Dark Templars really secures you, that positioning, and Blinkstalkers doesn't give you the ability to expand, so it's very obvious when you do it. Nightend does pop down that Nexus. What is Sheth's response going to be? Roach Warren and an Evolution Chamber being placed down at the same exact time.
Very interesting. Putting that Roach Horn down obviously implies that he, you know, either wants to do some aggression or wants to defend against some scary attack. But there goes the Dark Shrine down from Nightend. I'm looking for the Overlords from Sheth. None are really in an optimal position to check things out. The one from the north is going to start coming in here. But what's really cool about this build from Nightend, he has a Zealot and 3 Sentries out there. I mean, as a Zerg player, and you see that, you're not really thinking Dark Templars because 3 Sentries, that's 300 gas. You're investing in those units, and you're not investing in potential Dark Templars. So Sheth, you know, wouldn't automatically assume it's going to be Dark Templars when you see that many Sentries. Now, when you see just like a Zealot and a Stalker, maybe 2 Stalkers, that's when you're like, okay, he's using gas on something else. But that being said, Spore Crawler going down at his natural expansion.
Well, the big problem is the fact that the Sentries, there hasn't been more Sentries that could come out. Normally, we see at this point around 6 Sentries, or at least gateways in the front. And does he actually see it? Oh my god, he sees the Twilight Council. That's enough.
There it is.
There it is. The Dark Shrine is spotted.
Wow. Wow, Sheth, you are a good scouter. I'll say you're a good player, but that was really good scouting by him. I'm a little bit surprised Nightend took so long to actually start engaging that Overlord. I mean, he has a pylon at the north side of his base, so no real... I mean, he saw it early on. He could have killed it, but was a little delayed on actually getting to it. So Dark Templars aren't going to work too well. Spore Crawler's going on in the main, and there's one already down at the natural expansion. May add another one down behind his natural, perhaps, or in the mineral line, because the Spore Crawler is a little bit further up. I could see a Dark Templar sneaking around the side into the back, but I don't know, Gretorp. I mean, where does Nightend go from here? His Dark Templars, they've been spotted. The tech has been spotted.
You know, I think Dark Force said it best when the Huck did this to him in the NASL regular season. He says, Protoss is dead at this point. And no, I shouldn't say he's dead, but it's a theoretical loss at this point that the Dark Templars, when you invest so heavily into Dark Templars, I mean, think of everything. The opportunity cost, not only that, they don't really have a great progression. Yes, they can merge into Archons, but they do serve a little bit of map control, but it's still an overinvestment. I mean, I can spend a lot less money to take map control than I did getting the Twilight Council, getting the Dark Shrine, and getting the Dark Templars out. That represents so much gas right there. I think I'm totaling just around 600 gas. A little, more than that. More than 600 gas. I think it's around 675 gas. So quite a bit. I feel like Nightend not in a great position. That's affecting his robo timing. That's affecting his Colossus coming out. How many Stalkers, how many Sentries he has. It just, the list goes on and on and on.
You're right. You are very right indeed. And Sheth honestly could probably feel pretty safe right now. Has an Overseer in the middle of the map looking around for these Dark Templars. Dark Templars running for their lives. Don't feel as secure as they probably should. Zergling trying to get us around, holding position, but they haven't caught him yet. Looking for the blur is Sheth. Look, he keeps trying to surround the Dark Templar and hold position, but he keeps missing. That's kind of funny to see, but Sheth going to eventually back away, taking his third. And honestly, he hasn't overreacted. A lot of players will throw down like 5 Spore Crawlers or something crazy and overreact, and that's when the Dark Templars, you know, start being an okay thing to do. But Sheth only putting down 2 Spore Crawlers, maybe just 1 Overseer on the field, or maybe 2 Overseers on the field. Didn't overreact at all and is looking good going into the mid-game.
Sheth is one of the most collected people I've ever met before. I mean, this guy, look at his composure. That was just such great composure, dealing with the Dark Templars, not overreacting, as you said, just chasing around, reasserting map control, and that is something I cannot stress enough. Remember, the big advantage that Nightend had was his map control. He was able to see how many bases, that kind of stuff. That was completely gone. Of course, Nightend goes to retake it, but this is the type of play that I love to see, and we already see a very dramatic difference in the supply. 132 supply to 94. Let's look at that income tab. 74 harvesters to 59. Oh my gosh, Sheth is looking so good this game.
Yeah, and something interesting that's happening right now is Nightend is not merging these Dark Templars into Archons yet, and he has Blink on these Stalkers. So I feel like perhaps the game plan for him right now is to Blink underneath Overseers, take down the Overseers so the Dark Templars can do damage. That being said, Sheth has Infestors on the field, so he's going to be able to fungal growth every single Blink Stalker that he wants to. Has a bunch of Roaches on the field as well, so yeah. Pretty sticky situation here for Nightend, trying to take his third, but Sheth looking really good right now. A lot of Roaches, some Infestors on the field as well, like doing everything like perfectly right now, I gotta say.
This is correct. Sheth is going to just deny this. He can just keep leaning on his opponent because his economy is much stronger than his opponents. We can see an Observer. Oh, it's an Observer. I thought it was Dark Templar at first, but it's an Observer coming up here. Now, I think Sheth should press on his advantage. He should deny this third from coming up. If he lets this go, it could be a potential problem. He'll let Nightend get into that 6 gas mode. That's where he becomes monstrous, especially if he gets that Colossus count up. And here we go. Sheth is starting up. This is the correct decision.
He's going to be targeting down the assimilator. Wants to get these cannons before they finish. 2 are going to be canceled. Actually, 1 is going to be canceled. The other eliminated. Force field's going down. Fungal growth going down as well from these infestors. Dark Templars trying to muscle their way to the front of the Protoss army, but Sheth is just going to burrow and get out of there. Actually turning around, trying to snipe this Nexus yet again. And keep in mind, Blink is research for Nightend, so he can blink away his weakened stalkers. That's exactly what he's doing. But I think Sheth may be able to take this down. It's going to be close, Gretorp.
No, he can definitely take that down if he wants to just target it down right now, but he's actually going for the units, which is a lot better. Additional roaches are being reinforced over here, getting a really good arc. It looks like he falls back to the photon cannons. Photon cannons go down now, and the roaches are pressing forward. Is this going to be enough, though? Even more roaches are being streamed in. The Nexus goes down, and the Blink Stalkers, will they be enough? I don't think so. They have to blink back. Fungal is actually missed, only catching 2 of the Stalkers, but a couple of them do get just pulled up against them. At this point, Axel, I feel like Sheth is in an insurmountable advantage.
He's in a great situation right now, up 178 to 98 in that supply count, 73 to 58 in the harvester count, and Nightend only making stalkers and immortals when you would like to see like Colossus at this point. But Sheth has infestors and roaches on the field, and I don't see anything beating this composition he has right now. Assuming he attacks in the near future.
Yeah, and all came down to that Dark Templar. Investing in the Dark Templars just nerfs the entire army for Protoss at this point in time. Sheth knew that, took his economy, took all the, got his maximum amount of drones, and just making units. That's all he has to. He's actually teching. That's awesome. That is absolutely awesome, because he's saying, okay, I have a bigger economy. Let me go ahead and just develop my army even further, develop my tech, and I will be ahead in everything.
Yes. And look at this. He's going to attack forward here. No sentries in this army. Keep in mind, can't use any force field because there's no sentries, but Sheth is going to back away. Turning around yet again. A little bit of indecision here. Needs to get the infestors forward. Throwing down some fungal growths onto the stalkers and the immortals. And these roaches doing so much damage. Superior concave goes to Nightend, but is that even going to matter? Some infested Terrans going down as well. And it looks like Sheth just is overwhelming his opponent's stalkers and immortals. More stalkers being morphed in by Nightend. He's trying to stay alive as long as possible. And Sheth looks like he's going to turn away.
Yeah, Sheth still, the trades work out for him because he's the higher income. Now he's saturated the top left-hand corner. We can see the Stalkers are just getting obliterated so fast. Both these players are at 2-0, but finally the roaches do get cleaned up. Units tab is showing 12 Stalkers out in the field, but you're going to see this roach count just skyrocket in a little bit. 26 roaches! Oh my god. That is just, that's so scary. I mean, the recharge for this army is so fast. Sheth is looking, as I said, so handsome. So handsome.
So handsome. So handsome. Such a good description, Gretorp. I love it. Some Hydras on the way as well. And, I mean, Hydras against Stalkers and Immortals are pretty darn good. Again, is there a robotics bay on the field? I don't think there is. So Nightend not even thinking about Colossi at this point, trying to take a third at the top left, but Sheth's going to move forward, trying to deny that, taking down these cannons, going to force them to be canceled. And look at this, Nightend coming forward with these Stalkers and a lone Immortal, but does he have enough? Some Infestors in this army as well. Stalkers blinking forward, targeting down that Infestor. Nice job there, but 2 Infested Terrans coming out. But I think Nightend can push this away for now.
Yeah, he can, but look at what's actually reinforcing with this. There are Hydras in this composition. He has the range on those Hydras, the Groove Spines, and this army is getting sandwiched so easily. Just too many roaches. The Warping goes directly on top of the Stalkers, but doesn't matter. GG, well played, gets called out, and Sheth is going to take game number 1.